Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
NV go missing on train. NaVi do file the missing persons report. The 16-5, absolute thrashing. NaVi bounced back after what was quite a hesitant performance from them just yesterday. I'm joined by Yanko and Chad to break this one down, myself, Machine, hopefully guiding this in an interesting direction. It may be difficult sometimes. I know Henry was losing hope towards the end of that one, and what do I analyze? What do you think are the main points, what main topics we have to hit here, Chad? Just a simple absence of NV?
Yeah, and I think, obviously Hadji's standing in, it's not always great on a map like Train.
We didn't even know.
Yeah, it takes a lot of cohesion on the CT side of Train and a lot of utility usage and knowing what your teammates are covering, so there's a bit more to it. That's a bit unfortunate. I think we do need to note that Simple showed up once again, and he actually had his man in crime, partner in crime, Flamey, getting it done with him. I just wanted, before we get stuck into the real analysis, I just want to show some people something quick on my little iPad here.
Oh, what have you done?
So this is what I expected from EnVyUs.
Okay.
Now, I want people to understand that this isn't me just saying that they played terribly. This is their economy. Now, this is bin juice. I like to reference, if you're not doing too well, you're in the bin. But the worst possible place to be is bin juice, because you've been there for a while. That was the entire half for them, right? And it wasn't great. So this is the bin juice. And just so we're going to quickly flick over here, this was the money for NaVi. The game was a lot closer than it looked. They had to break the bank time and time again to keep buying. Right? They were in a position where they didn't get a huge economy until the very end of the game. And it's just great to see a visual representation, Alex, of how the economy went in the game.
No, this is why we give you the iPad. You wondered why you don't have a laptop like us. It's because we aren't capable of analysis on that level, Yanko. Do you feel like you learned something?
Yes.
Yeah, a multitude of things.
Bin juice, for one.
But yeah, for one
You know
thing.
bin juice, Yanko. You got the garbage bag in there, but it has a hole in it.
Why? Why does the garbage bag...
Chad, in order for you to have bin juice, the garbage bin needs to be full at first. And for you to have that, you need to throw something in it, like food. We didn't have that.
Well, that was EnVy's economy that was thrown into the bin, right? So
you missed it. Never mind.
The arc here, guys,
the story arc. Every story has an arc.
Is that NaVi, even though it looked like a blistering half, for probably the first 8 to 9 rounds, it was actually very close. There was I think 4 or 5 rounds in the first little half of the half that it was super close, where all 5 members of NaVi actually died on both eco rounds. They all died, so their economy wasn't great. They went into the first gun round with a CZ and a Galil, so there was plenty of chances for EnVyUs to get some rounds on the board and get in control of the economy.
I mean, that Galil saved the round. In the pistol round, it was simple with the ace. Then first gun round, 2v3, Zeus from the bomb site on B gets 2 kills with the Galil, closes out the round. Second gun round, again, they go out yard. It's again a 3v3 situation, feeling things out after the early trade. And again, it's Zeus with the, swing frag, so to speak, that swings the round towards NaVi's way. And, after that, even if the rounds were close, you're down 7-0 as CT on Train. It's going to be very difficult to come back for that. But I agree that the game was closer, perhaps, than the score would show.
Yeah, and of course, we do have another unanswered question from this game, and that's, of course, what do we call a heavy flash execute? They came up with lightning, what do you call it, lightning round?
Lightning strike,
Lightning
I think
strike,
it was.
I believe.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw that out there. Not doing an answer now, but by the end of the show, I want you guys to have a name for when there's just a heavy flashbang execute. You guys can get involved as well. Hashtag ESLCS. What do we call a heavy flashbang execute? Because Henry likes his fancy names. Matt and Henry do like to have the Superman round.
Sea of White.
The Sea of White. I feel like we may get in trouble for that one. Actually, we'll find a new one. With all of that said, Hadji top of the scoreboard. That's not an excuse. That can't be a crutch that we apply to NV, or is it just the fact that it was the map as well, alongside the fact that he stood it?
Well, look, he was on top of the scoreboard. It's all fantastic, right? But the stuff that, sure, he's just getting the frags, but the team had no structure. Even on the T side, where they're actually getting rounds, they had the Mac 10 round, where they all bought Mac 10 so they could have a lot of utility. That's not really advisable. You want to have a couple of rifles, maybe a Galil in there, and then you can have UMPs would still be even better than the Mac 10. They've gone 5 Mac 10s and they've lost this round. You can't take long-range duels on a map like Train. What are you thinking?
Maybe they're memeing.
Maybe.
You never know.
Was this just them giving up?
It's not just Mac 10 close range. It's also Mac 10 low armor penetration. UMP has higher armor penetration. I think even the MP7s, you might want to go something like that in the second round, right? Because they still have armor. If it was the third round where they only have USPs, maybe a P250, then it's fine because you just shred them anyway.
There is actually 2 thought processes here, right? There's one that the fact that, hey, we know that NaVi only needs so few rounds, right? So we're going to assume they're going to take that eco so they can close out the game as quickly as possible. Then there's the other thought process, which is which is what I would have been like, hey, this is NaVi. They're pretty cocky. They just slammed us. They're probably going to force by, right? Because they have a lot of rounds to work with. They went with the former, and it didn't work out so well for them.
It certainly didn't. Yeah, 5 MAC-10s. This hasn't necessarily always worked out. We saw 5 UMPs. Gratefully, I think we've kind of got out of that UMP rut we found ourselves in, given some of the changes to it. These are the stats, the scores on the doors. You can see there was an underperformance from 1 or 2 players. Do ignore that XMS presence. He has got a stand-in currently for this match. He did not frag at all. But outside of that, you can see, another 100 ADR plus game for Simple. He is the kind of the standard bearer for NaVi.
Shining light?
Yeah, the shining light at the end of what seems to be quite a gloomy tunnel at the moment for the CIS squad as they try and get back on their feet with Zeus here in the ESL Pro League. They have, however, never lost to EnVy. In this roster, this iteration of EnVy, they've met each other 4 times here in 2017, and our single win has gone the way of the French. Maybe the next map will bode well. Let's venture into that. I believe it's Cobblestone. I could be mistaken. Yep, just confirmed it. So we will be seeing Cobblestone between EnVy and NaVi.
And this is where it's going to get a little bit interesting from NaVi's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because with the old lineup, when Zeus was in the lineup last year, they were one of the best teams in the world on Cobblestone, especially on the T side, right? Then when Zeus was removed, he's in-game leading and so forth. Cobblestone was really just an abysmal map for them, pretty much. So it's going to be interesting to see now with Zeus back. Are they going to be able to be dominant on the map yet again? It's probably one of the best alongside Nuke maps for EnVyUs.
So bit of a maybe not so tangible connection, Chad, but was Gambit's Cobble dominant pre-Zeus? Or was it Zeus's arrival that made that Gambit Cobble run?
Gambit's nothing was dominant.
Before they were looking okay because they had Hobbit before, like they had Zeus.
I'm just talking about that Cobble. Do you remember they had like an 18 win streak?
That was with Zeus.
That was with Zeus.
But Cobble was still one of their better maps, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't know a lot about Gambit because we didn't see them in a lot of tournaments getting much done. Obviously, when Zeus came in, all that changed. They obviously won the major. But I think, in this matchup, we have to highlight the point that Haji standing in is just a huge issue on the T side of a map like Cobble, where it's highly execute-based, right? He obviously knows his smokes and flashes from the Academy team, but he could play a completely different role to somebody like XMS. So coming in here, you have to just make note of that and say, like, the play style that you're going to have to go with if you're a team like EnVyUs is more like explosions or contact plays or maybe rushes and try the basics because you're not going to be able to pull off those executes.
Yeah, barring some big upset, I'm favoring NaVi here. But I'm not really looking forward to the score, right, and seeing if NaVi wins. I'm looking forward to seeing how will they play. Will they
win?
Will they show improvement based in comparison to their previous performances? Because we mentioned as one of their biggest issues right now is the fact that their map pool is very shallow.
Right. So are you more worried about seeing the T side from NaVi than it is the CT? I mean, you've always kind of said that you put Flame Dogger on the statue and you kind of don't worry about B. You let Simple just do stupid aggressive stuff. And I mean, so is it more the T side where you get a little worried?
Yeah, I don't even know if the T side is going to be a huge issue for this one because the players are on fire right now and they're happy to take those duels. When you have that confidence, in a matchup like this, it's going to carry through. The thing is, long term, exactly what Yanko's saying, the map pool needs to be worked on. Whether they're just going to treat this as, hey, we need the wins if we want to make the final and let's just go with what's working right now, or they're going to use it as a practice for the future of big events coming up as well. That's, we have to wait and see. I think, you just want the win. So I'd play with the confidence. I'd let Flamey and Simple stay, off the hook, let them do whatever they want, and then maybe reel them in if you need to.
Okay, and with that said, we've kind of got the last closing thoughts before we get our casters back on screen. And so I just actually want to direct this towards kind of players to watch. Now, a lot of negativity surrounding Seized at the moment. I imagine that would probably be at the top of your list, Chad, in terms of players that you want to watch in terms of like who has to step up, what does he have to do differently? I mean, who's at the top of your list?
I think if they want to make this roster work, Seized needs to be made more comfortable, which means they have to give him positions or roles that he might be able to flourish in, where someone like a Flamey or a Simple, they can get a lot done from really any position. Now, if you just want those two to kind of carry your game, then you're going to give them the lion's share of positions they want and just make Seized be the support player. And hey, if you're at the bottom of the scoreboard and you're still winning, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. But when they are losing and he's still struggling, you can obviously highlight him as an issue. And I used to play a lot of those transition positions he plays, like being the rotator on the connector side of drop. It's not an easy spot, especially if you're not like a super aim star and you're always worried about your teammates. It's something where you need to maybe be a little bit more selfish. And maybe that's something he needs to look at. Try and be more selfish, focus on his own frags, and get his stats up, might help his confidence and snowball from there.
Yeah, I think for NaVi it's clear that Flamey and Simple are the stars, right? And you always want to put them in the comfortable spots and put them in a position to succeed. But it's after that where it becomes a bit blurry, who's the third star player on that team? Is it Seized? Is it Edward, Zeus? Probably not. So who is the next one on the depth chart in terms of, you know, you play for him. So whether I think it's a choice between Seized and Edward at that point, and seeing as how Edward is the more experienced player, right, and he actually has had very consistent performances on the big stage when it comes to the majors, one of the better performers for Navi when they had those grand final runs. So I feel like you probably want to make some room for Seized so that, as Chad pointed out, he's comfortable, and you feel like Zeus and Edward will be able to fit in the end what's left for them, basically.
So here's a fun one. At their peak, at their best, was the Gambit roster or the Navi roster? Which one had more firepower?
Firepower, Navi, but Gambit was the better team.
Okay.
I think for Navi, like, the problem is you will always look towards those finals and say, like, they had mental issues, like they had psychological. I remember Columbus and seeing that first map end after overtime. It wasn't even Navi's pick, it was Luminosity's pick, Mirage. They lose in overtime, and the players, like, I couldn't believe it. The players go backstage, and Flamey is just sitting in his seat on the stage throughout the break. He doesn't exchange a single word with the rest of the team until they come back. And then they play their own pick, which is Overpass, and they lose something like 16-4 or 16-6. They just get blown out of the server because they're not mentally in the game. It's your pick. Like, it's still 1-1. You go to a third map if you win your pick, and, you know, there anything can happen pretty much. So it kind of tells you that there are more issues and more things to work on than just like the performance on the server.
For sure, but for now, it does seem like our analysts are suggesting Navi are comfortable enough on the server to take this one. What do you guys make of this? Hello, handsome.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
What are we doing here?
Hey, well, you just thought we'd hang out.
Yeah, I thought that's why I came to Copenhagen, strictly to hang out.
I love it. I absolutely do. Now, guys, it does seem like we are kind of beating the envy horse here. There doesn't seem too much positivity we're getting out of the French.
It's difficult right now, from what I just saw. Obviously, they've got a stand-in right now, and it's why I also said it for Navi, it's difficult to gauge their real form after yesterday as well, because beating an NBS side performing like this isn't much to write home about. I'm not excited right now. And I was saying yesterday, I feel like Navi, I think they should even consider further changes for what they've done so far. The current performances haven't really excited me whatsoever, and I don't think Zeus is really making that much impact to the lineup.
No, he's not. And it's a wonder of obviously, when he went to Gambit, he gave them the structure they needed, but they had the skills to work with it. And by skills, Yanko just said that in some ways the skills of Navi are superior, but they had the skill set, I should say, the roles, the adaptation to work with him. I wonder if that's a bit of a struggle. I wonder if perhaps just a very key element is missing. And I point to Seized as well, but both these teams struggling. Obviously, Envy significantly more this evening.
You have to notice as well that they've still got Simple in lights out form, and they still can't really look like a strong unit right now. And they've brought back the in-game leader, which was apparently the missing piece of the puzzle. They've lost Guardian, which was a little bit gutting, but Simple's been AWPing really well. So let's get into it anyway, shall we? It's going to be Cobblestone here, and we'll have EnVyUs going very quickly towards middle with the bomb as well, up against Zeus, who's surely going to be going down here. Six takes him down eventually, but Simple, like we said, amazing form at this point. He managed to get one frag, a Seized to chime in as well. So looks like the pistol round should be going in favour of the Navi side. That frag confirms it. Flamey coming to life there. And it's going to be Scream with not really much to do here, Matt. He's got the bomb down at the A site. 3 versus 1. They seem to know where he is once he picks up that kill as well. Oh, what's he up to? Stops.
Yeah, it seemed weird. I thought we had an issue.
But now he's just trying to have a little bit of a desperate attempt to maybe find one frag in B, but no real reason for any CTs to be there. Not even have to be in the connector, really. Sold the bomb. Have the crossfire. And it looks like Steve is going to be finding that final shot. So a fast approach there from EnVyUs, but their poor first map doesn't look like they'll be getting better anytime soon. The next few rounds will be a little bit difficult for them. Can force buy, of course. You'll see CZ instead of Tech 9s these days. Happy with the first purchase. Head armor, CZ. No nades so far. No nades across the board. Okay. So, map like Cobblestone. You've just got firepower to work with on the T side. Going towards long 8. Hoping to open things up.
Hoping to open things up. Sixer, meanwhile, heads back over toward long. He'll push Simple back toward the site by virtue of presence. Simple doesn't feel comfortable or content trying to peek back around the corner. There's no need to give up guns early. It leaves Zeus down below at the ramp at mid. However, Edward has a position by which he can guard him. I want to say babysit. I don't know why. I keep saying that word a lot lately, Henry.
Yeah, you do. It's your new word.
Is it? Something in that, maybe.
Well, we get into this final play from NBS. CZ's in hand. Like I said, no smokes for connector, no flashbangs, and they will be finding the first frag somehow. The CZs really are difficult to contain these days, but Simple and Edward, they've got other ideas. UMP's coming to life, and it will be low HP for Hadji and RPK as well. This round will be done, I'm afraid. Maybe one more kill. Not quite. They got the opening frag, but not a single smoke for connector. Balcony, a flashbang for the bomb side, nothing. So you surely get the opening kill, but how do you even capitalize on that? You need to have one player who at least gets a bit of utility just to work with it. One smoke could have been enough just to hold off a couple of frags, but still, it will be 2-0 for NaVi. Not really anything interesting coming out from NBS so far. It has to be the full AK here. P250s, no armor, no nades, of course. Should be a guaranteed victory for NaVi, and quite the clean bonus round into the next. Where does that kill come from? That was a mid-doors, I think. Someone... Zeus, obviously, rushed down middle, and this could start to fall apart. Getting a little bit cocky here, NaVi. Give a couple of kills away, and a couple of weapons as well, and Happy start to chime in. This was a full eco, 4 P250s. And this is what happens when you start rushing and getting a bit ahead of yourself.
Calm down, lads. That's what Henry's saying. We don't need to be this ridiculous.
There is absolutely no reason to rush a choke point by yourself against pistols, other than just to get some frags on your scoreboard. That's about it.
It's always nice to look good when you press tab, Hank. No one wants to be on the bottom of a scoreboard.
Well, they're going to lose the round now, so a little bit gutting for them.
Seas will check behind the door. By spraying through it with an M4, they could well lose the round, but not if Edward has to say, because he's gotten Scream. Seas will try and again find entry, but he's also distracting by spraying through the door. Misses the shot on Happy. That's a problem, because the UMP will be upgraded to an M4. It's a battle between the doorway. M4 clearly has the penetration power, but Edward might just hold this. He's got a kit. He's going to try, but the flames land, and down he goes. Happy smartly lights him up.
Well, there it is. Zeus rushing towards middle. Supposed to be the veteran player. The experienced in-game leader runs down middle to face the choke point. Gets his head blown off by a Glock, and there it is. He gives a weapon away. Second frag comes in. The CT reaction tries to come through the B side of the map. That's very disappointing from NaVi. They still have enough money to buy here over north as well, so all is not lost, but still, that should have been a clean 3-0. It's difficult to lose against PT50s, no armor, no nades, but there we are. Boost here from Happy, looking for any CTs, desperately trying to climb up, drop down. Decent nade, doesn't inflict too much damage. Simple, he'll have to step up here and see whether he can find some opening frags. He's alone at the A site, not going too aggressive. Holds long A, they have a 4-man stack towards B. Simple is very vulnerable, but so is Flamey as he gets the Molotov shut at his feet. It will be happy to take him down there. 5 on 4, lots of time to work with. Envy can slow things right down now. Wait for any sort of CT reaction.
Jeep fades into no one. Tries to anticipate someone's close by, but they're not. Either way, he gets caught by Simple as a result of actually telegraphing that he wanted to peek the position. But either way, I was going to say they had the man advantage. That's gone as a result of it. So a little bit aggressive, catches them off. They'll go back to gather the bomb. It's just outside of mid on the T side and head over toward B, where Zeus waits on the platform playing at stairs. Seized is nearby at the rock, but Edward and Simple aren't exactly sure where they should position, so the divided defense could be costly. Zeus instead that gets caught out. RPK will get him on the way through. Flames to push him back. And a good entrance as a result, but Simple gets the AWP in position in time. And he may get it closer still. Flashed up, can't find the shot toward the bomb. However, does follow up by getting Happy. It will concede the plant. However, he still has a chance to find more. Scream. Good response as Edward, now left alone, has to go on the flank. A kit to work with, but not really much in that.
2 versus 1. Edward all starting to see what he can do here. It's going to be a nice first shot. Take down Sixer. Can't convert the second into a victory, though. It's going to be screened to take him down, and 2 rounds in a row for EnVyUs. We might have a map on our hands here as NaVi give up a blunderous 3rd round there. And now EnVyUs back in the game. We do have a pause coming through. I believe this is technical. As we enter round number 5.
It's technical indeed. I have gotten the confirmation.
Be a weird time to take a tactical pause, really.
I like the baby and the fish. I always have.
The baby and the fish. Yeah, an iconic pause screen.
What do you think it represents?
I'm not sure, really. I haven't really thought about it.
Sure, there's a biblical significance that we just don't know.
Yeah. Looks like we're almost ready to go, but this should be the full eco now for NaVi. EnVyUs with a chance to bounce back after a pretty disappointing affair on D-Train. We've got 3 AKs here, a P250 for 6er, and a Mac 10 for Hachi. They know that money's completely broken for the NaVi side. Sees has got some armor to work with, though. Takes his money down to about 1k. In terms of loss bonus, only a second as well, so next round will be a difficult buy for him going forward. Just joining us and wondering, who is Hadji? He is from the EnVyUs Academy, and he's filling in for XMS tonight, and for reasons unknown, we're not really sure why, but I'm sure all will be revealed in due time. It will be Hadji actually top fragging in the previous map with like 15-16 kills and a 16-5 thrashing. So it's still pretty decent. We'll get back into this game though. Round number 5. Like I said, a fully go for NaVi. EnVyUs managed to win one of these though, so never fully discount them. Zeus coming out for Zeus.
Zeus with Zeus. I like it. That's not bad. What if we had Zeus coaching Zeus with a Zeus?
We could do that. He means Zeus, the Brazilian coach, guys. Just before you get confused.
They got it.
Did they?
But if Zeus was giving Zeus lessons to Zeus with a Zeus, then it would be rather awesome.
That would be quite good. It's probably the prevalent map, I'd say, with that particular thing. You got the
particular thing,
particular taser.
Stuff and things were the 2 words I was told never to use in high school. Actually, before that, I think it was like middle school I was told that. Because everything is a thing, and what is stuff?
Ooh.
Good shot by Simple. That's stuffing.
Stuffing something.
Yeah, there you go. With his deagle, good headshot, finding Happy. 2-2, much better scoreline for EnVyUs to start off map 2 than what we saw previously on map 1. Gun swap screen goes over to a Mac 10.
Yeah, low HP. Doesn't want to be giving that away too easily. We'll be round number 5 here, and a nice shot from Simple with the Desert Eagle, known to be one of the best users with that particular weapon. So they're heading towards B here. We'll be going to the crosshair of Simple, and he's loving that prospect. Oh my god, another headshot for him. Should be taking out Scream as well. Can't quite find the shot just yet, but his teammates should be able to do something about this. The Zeus comes in. It works out. RPK drops, and the eco victory works out for NaVi, giving EnVyUs a taste of their own medicine. And boy, is it better. The Zeus purchase works out, and there will be deagle shots aplenty. Here's the Zeus replay. For anyone who missed it, we did. Quite exciting to see it actually work out. It's been a while. We used to have a rule on the Pro League last season, didn't we? You had to follow the Zeus player the entire round.
We did, actually. That was a rule. It was a horrendous rule for all of our other spectators. But Rushley, I think we called it the Rushley Cam.
Yeah. He forgot his own rule.
Rushley has his own rule. That's a sad state of affairs. Could you imagine Rushley running a dictatorship? What would be some of the rules he would come up with?
I don't even want to imagine that in the world. But that's the thing. Well, it's a force buy from EnVyUs, and they will be losing Scream to kick things off as well. It's a pretty lackluster approach towards the A-bomb site. You can see no real flashback of smokes deployed here. Being quite simple frags, but actually doing some work there with the Mac 10. It all starts to fall apart here as the bomb is dropped, though. That makes things very complicated now for the French side. Will be recovered by Sixer. They still have actually a chance of winning this. Sixer recovers the AWP after the first couple of frags coming in for the CT side. You thought that was it. Happy now. Shot with the AK-47. It's just seized with low HP up against 2, but has managed to sneak past Happy.
Seized backs to the APC. 1 between 2. As he tries to find the shot. Knows that Sixer was indeed where he was and stared him down above the wall. However, even though he threw the Molotov and telegrammed that, he quickly finds the shot to tie us back up on 3, so we stay fairly level and fairly even.
Another force buy for the CT. It seems like it's force buy mania right now. We had 4 CZs and an AK in the previous round. Now we've got Deagles, 5.7s, and MP9s, and NaVi have won a couple of these rounds so far on this map, so why not? Give Simple a weapon. He can probably find frags with it. This time he's got the M4A4. He's had to go a pretty decent buy, to be fair. Smokes, flashbangs, head armor as well. And the AWP of 6 trying to cause some damage here. We have got the boost towards drop down from Seized. MP9 in hand. Not an ideal weapon, but at close range can cause some damage.
Were you startled?
I was wondering what the player was there. Drops the incendiary and fires some bullets, hoping he'd potentially catch player out of position, I think.
Yeah, pre-fire the flame damage. It's a bit peculiar. That's pretty good. RPK reads it and says, "You want to fire your gun like that, you buffoon? I'll kill you. Kill you with my AK-47."
Best way to do it.
Yeah, it's probably one of the better ways to do it in the game. It's very satisfying to get a headshot with an AK on one bullet, like Scream often does, but he goes for the spray instead. Perhaps he should not have. Perhaps he should have stuck with what he knew as NaVi finds 2 kills on pistols. Haji, however, stabilizes, as Judah's happy getting Zeus. It's only on to Simple, and Simple has Spot happy with a knife out, but doesn't hit the shot, and therefore now they know exactly where it is. It should be EnVy taking a lead. Should be.
Well, Simple with no kit. A couple of flashbangs smoked out of position as well. Looks like EnVyUs is going to give us a stronger performance here on Cobblestone, managing to negate the force bite of NaVi. Finally, seems like someone will have to go down to the full eco, but we have seen those rounds won as well. We'll have a look at the scoreboard. Simple on 10 frags, 3 kills as usual. Seems to be top fragging every single game for NaVi these days. At the bottom will be Zeus at 2, one of which was a Zeus kill. And Flamey just above on 3 as well. 6 at top fragging. Well, not quite happy at 7. In terms of points, 6 is at the top with 6.
6er with 6.
Exactly.
Damn, son. It's like new meta. Happy's actually got 7, though, if you want to be technical. He's ahead of him.
I just said that.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh. I missed that part. Usually because I tune you out.
Yeah.
That's what happens in marriage. You just kind of tune the other person out.
Just becomes white noise.
Yep.
4-3. And it will be round number 8. And is this another force buy?
Why not?
What's
they need
going
to
on?
take the economics 101.
They just force buy in the previous round, and now they're force buying again. Do they want to buy in this game? Okay, well, they did manage to save 1 rifle, so they'll force around that and try and get whatever they can done. CZs, a UMP, and the M4 for Simple. Didn't work out in the previous round. Let's see if it has any more success in round number 8. EnVyUs win this. They are likely to win the half. It's very difficult to recover from this financial turmoil NaVi have got themselves into. 1 smoke remaining. They've got a kit. Flashbangs and some damage through the smoke. Simple, quite fun the frag though. Okay, and he goes down to 79 to be fair. It'll be a little bit more than that.
Seized. Found out by Happy.
If you remember historically, NaVi have always struggled on Cobblestone CT sides.
That's true.
Even with Guardian in there, he had to carry them to get number 5 on the board. And then the T sides were always pretty decent, but CT side, they never seemed to really crack it.
Well, all that said, flames go down the stairs where Simple can no longer climb up to watch. The plant having to go in from EnVy, who, with plant, put another Molotov toward the stairs. Simple backs off. They're going to make the save call early, even though there's 2 SMGs. They want the M4 to carry over. NaVi do not have the money to sustain any further damage. Damage, Hank. It's all about the damage.
Problem is, they do save this weapon rate, UMP and MP9 and M4, but they keep force buying here, and this is just going to add to that. CTs do manage to get money on top of their saved weapon rate. It's not like being on the T side. So right now they have 0, but they'll get, let me work it out, $2,400 into the next round per player. So that means they can force buy with other UMPs or drop Famises for teammates. And it'll be an okay buy, but still, it doesn't really get them out of the situation just yet. EnVyUs won't find any further frags, but take the lead 5-3. As I said, we can drop Famises here, but that means Simple has to give up a lot of his cash. He's got 3,300 right now. They probably want to save that. So UMPs come out, they balance things out with P250s. Need to be very careful here. They don't force into it, which is surprising considering they force ball in a really questionable circumstance in the last 2. But just P250s and no armor for Zeus and Seized in are looking at the bigger picture right now. So, number 9. Towards the upper platform there for 6 and Simple is rushing long A. he has had enough, and Scream just takes him down. Quite a simple shot, if you will.
If you won't, I will. Zeus is going to run out aggressively with the pistol and pretty much just give himself up for good. It's all about the Benjamins. Don't know why I said that, but I really wanted to. Seized goes into the corner. They'll walk by. He's got the P250. They'll walk by, not even check it, and he actually outmaneuvers them in some odd capacity as he runs around to the left side, having expected to be staying in the corner, and catches Sixer off, but not for the kill. He goes down to 23. But it's just Edward that remains. And he, over at B, is spotted, but will do nothing to get the round back for NaVi. It goes 6. They double up 6-3. Thought he could get away with a gun. Scream was immediately there to say no to that idea.
6-3 right, but NaVi did go for the more conservative approach and forced by themselves into oblivion in the previous, so they can buy up with this one. Simple the AWP once again. Zeus very quiet game so far, only one real frag so far. Here's a replay. With the PD50, could have got much more out of that one. It is difficult to get multi-frags with the PD50, but that sort of opportunity on the plate, that's a really disappointing finish. I mean, at least wanted 2 out of that. I like to recall that little nuance, so. 6-3. Simple this time. Holds towards long A. The fallen angle, I'm going to start calling this, because he seems to hit that shot every single time.
He's
like
so good. He hits it and falls away. Does fallen.
Yeah, that's his signature move.
Fadeaway jumper.
Yeah. Here we go. Preset. Sort of cocktail towards drop down. One beneath to flush out one of the pallets. One to the left as well to the E-box push the players back, and Sees gives him a bit of a veil there with the smoke. Means they probably can drop down quite safely. He has locked them out somewhat, but they're in for their final play now. Flashbangs come out. That's going to be a lovely lineup of Flamey here, but RPK fights back.
Well, gets 2 from the position, but Edward waiting at the Hobbit hole. Put a scratch on the door. Goes down to Sixer. Should have said yes the first time they knocked.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-on-2 now. Great start by Flame, and it's starting to fall apart here. Sixer just keeps finding the frags, applying the pressure. Now Simple gives his position away as well. Hits Sixer, but goes down. 26 HP. We'll be happy to finish things off. EnVyUs looking much better here. Oh, NaVi not looking great, I have to say. Lots of weird decisions with the financial situation, and they seem to be getting outplayed left, right, and centre. Flame with the first 2 frags as well, but RPK managed to find some great form with the AK-47 as they split towards the B site. He hits 2 kills, and then that Edward play from the Hobbit hole as well. I really thought he was set up there for at least a frag. Something had to come out of that one. Flashbang worked against him, but sometimes that's the way it goes down. We are going to have a partial bite from NaVi now. Loss bonus at maximum, 5 rounds in a row for EnVyUs. CZ's an MP9 for Flamey. And Seas hasn't bought any armor, which I would suggest maybe they're thinking about getting an AWPR next round for him, having double orbs. They don't really have that anymore. Before Simple joined NaVi, we had Guardian in the lineup, and Seas was a secondary AWPR, but obviously when Simple did join, we had Guardian and Simple, and that was supposed to be, wow, what a team this is going to be. We've got this amazing, stunning lineup now on paper. We've got all the skills required, and it's going to be lights out.
Is there something in it for you? Because the question is that every team that Simple has joined, with the exception of Liquid, who only had one way to go, has struggled over time due to his overwhelming presence. Is there something in that?
I'm not sure, because it never really found a success. It really deserved, I guess, in terms of the skill. Anyway, Simple, there he is. He gets 1 kill, but I was about to build it up. Potentially got 2, but we can go back to the question. I'm not sure. Unless I play in a team with him, it's difficult to tell. Obviously, Guardian, when he left, there's a lot of drama around that. It seemed like he came out and said Simple was very difficult to play with.
That's my point, I think.
Yeah.
It makes me think that teams struggle because of his presence, and that's when you have to start to wonder, what is someone worth? Flamey, you're right, though, has got this down to a 1-on-1. A shocking affair, because he's 3 kills, was a 1 versus 4, and suddenly he's got a chance to go toward the bomb, and RPK's on very low HP. He seems to know exactly where he's gone, which does make sense. Long should be the call, but he checks it just as Flamey looked away.
RPK, he has to be counting his lucky stars there. The moment he goes to check it when Flamey doesn't check the stables. He had to at one point. He knows he hasn't got a kit. He could be juked out, knowing that RPK is low HP. He could be going for that full defuse. RPK gets a little bit lucky in the final play, but what a performance that was from Flamey. Great shots to the AK-47. Not enough to yield around victory, though. It will be 8-3. NBS do win the half on the T side here. Flamey with the AWP map. What on earth is going on? He's not the AWPer of the team. I don't know why this would be happening. Simple should be AWPing. Flamey, I don't think I've ever seen him with the AWP. Maybe when he's picked it up and salvaged it. It's quite a strange one. So he'll go towards the B bomb site. Simple on the rifle. That's fair enough. He is one of the most talented rifles in CSGO, but Molotovs come in and Flamey, this is a bit of a sitter there, but makes up for it the second shot.
Makes up for it, but Flamey's going to try and hold the position and go back for more. It's Happy instead that's finding kills. Sixer goes aggressive with the pistol like it's underneath the AWP, but Zeus has the other angle. And finally another round for NaVi. Looking at the kills just a few rounds ago, it's surprisingly close on the scoreboard in terms of frag distribution between other teams. It just says the rounds that EnVy are winning have been close. But they still got more of them. They'll have money left over to work with as well heading into this round 13. But buying out the AWP, it's going to put them in touch of being broken in the next round. A force would be on the cards, but we'll see what they feel of it. Depends on how many people stay alive, I suppose, on the NaVi side, because if they can keep them low enough, why wouldn't you justify trying to break them down?
He's still opening as well, so this could be something they've been working on, an adjustment to give Simple when he gets something like the AK-47 like he's got right now, a bit more freedom and go a bit more aggressive at the start of each round. But I mentioned flicked at the start, Scream this down to 77 points of health, but Flamey, he's going pretty aggressive towards the upper platform right now. Same story for Zeus as well. They're changing their stance, it seems, and Zeus drops a smoke and almost commits suicide at that point, because Sixer was ready for it, watching it, runs through into Molotov as well, trying to get a cheeky frag, but got taken down. 5-on-4. Recovery situation now for Edward. Doesn't look like he can do much with this one. Happy finds him as well. Will be Simple, though. This is perfect, Matt. This is what he can do. Only one kill, I'm afraid.
I have to applaud you for building that one up.
Well, it looked like it was promising. I was ready to drop everything I had then.
Drop it all on
I haven't got the
black.
shout tonight once.
You know, you can just do it. You can just force it. Just fake it like I do.
You can't really force that one, can you?
Nah, you can't.
You got 3 players on your screen, you just get one and he dies.
It's true. No, you're right. You can't do much with that.
So it was big. I had all the footsteps. I was like, here we go. No. Yeah, that's a good try. So this is really strange. I'd love to hear the analysts' thoughts as to why they think Flamey is on the AWP at this point. Is everything just fallen apart and they're just trying different things out? Is it a setup they've had ready to go? Is it like a kind of Astralis Dupree situation where they're kind of trying to bring him in as secondary AWPer? I haven't seen Flamey ever AWP, so unless I've missed something in their recent games, this is a bizarre turn of events. So I was about to say the easiest frag of his life. Does get his head blown off. Simple completely eviscerates him on the upper platform. Happy responds though, picks up the AWP. Oh, Simple's not done just yet though. He wants to find his next kill. Happy a little bit rattled. Doesn't want to find the same fate, and he might just do that. Tagging up Simple, no one can kill him right now.
Seized. Goes back out. Good find. Takes RPK down. Good shot at range to find Happy on 16 as well. 7 HP for the AK as it walks around the corner, but Happy has the better shot and Seized falls. Happy's trying to back away desperately. Flames, flashes, smokes. The lightning round, by the way, lightning strike was more about being Molotovs and standing on flames, which we then dubbed Scarecrow. So Alex needs to pay more attention to us.
Being flashed and going in flames, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lightning strike works for a fast flash play, though.
Yeah. Especially Zeus's play.
Sea of White, or whatever Yanko does in Serbia.
I like that one. Yeah, it's an interesting approach. But Simple, 3 versus 1. It looked like, oh, he spots one. So he'll be looking to take on Happy. Can't do that though. Happy's actually looking pretty sharp with the AWP tonight. 4 kills with him. After Simple took down his teammate at the upper platform. 10-4. A complete turn of events here. After what we saw in Train. NaVi, I was speculating we couldn't really gauge the form of NaVi considering it's NV with a stand-in, but maybe this is more indicative of what's really going on. Cobblestone, they've looked pretty poor here. And remember, they won the pistol map. They got 2-0. Then got beaten by a full eco. And then everything just went horribly wrong for them. Lots of weird force buys, crazy force buys that don't really make any sense. Like, for such an experienced in-game leader, for like double force buys back-to-back, like, it didn't really make that much sense, to me at least.
Well, If it doesn't make sense to you, Henry, it doesn't make sense to me.
That's what I'm
Push from Simple, but rather ill-advised in terms of the overall outcome. Going through the doorway to find one in the corner, you're always going to be exposed to more guns, more bullets, and more damage, by which he will go down.
4-4.
NaVi's looking for that magic 5th round, by the way, which we always just
That's
say
so
was
true.
the threshold.
Yeah.
The threshold. You brought it up earlier, but it's again the same situation.
If they get 5, though, that was the magic number for a reason, because they usually could win out the games with 5.
Somehow.
Yeah, somehow, definitely. It was always Zeus who went absolutely nuts on the T side as well. That was his bread and butter. It was Guardian who used to carry for 5 rounds of the battle with crazy clutches. And then they'd have to get it done on the T side with a pistol, then grind it out. Still, they have the man advantage here. 10-5, definitely possible. Flaming up on the tree once again with the Famas. He should take that RPK here. Timing's eluding though, and it will be dropped. And that's the B bomb side pretty much open. Sees is stuck in towards drop down with only an MP9 man. So how does he do anything with this one? He's hoping they make a mistake and just drop into his crosshair. But looks like the bomb will be planted. It will be RPK calling for the all clear. Bomb should go down momentarily. It's on the back of 6 though, unfortunately. We have got a counter boost from Edward though towards drop down. Making some noise though. That will slow him down somewhat. Bomb will be planted now.
Good shot, RPK to take out Zeus. Edward at the ready. Not ready enough as Happy walks out from the arch. She had the M4 staring down inside of the site. It looks like Envy will find round 11. They could split the map score for the evening 1-1 therefore. Great better chances and more problems for NaVi. As we do swap over, 11-4 is where we end. So Envy with a tremendous T-side at half, and NaVi, their old tricks, only finding 4 rounds. And those aren't tricks that I like very much.
After winning the pistol as well, going up 2-0, only getting 2 rounds on the board after that, one of which was a 4-spy as well. That's a very horrible half for NaVi. I'm sure they can bounce back somewhat. This is par for the course of them on Cobblestone. We'll see what happens after the break.
Well, 11-4. Envy with a substantial lead. But again, NaVi, they always seem to struggle on the CT side. They couldn't get anything rolling over toward A. No aggressive peaks that were successful. Simple walked out for one and went down. He does have 122.7 ADR, which is impressive considering the score.
He always seems to be top fragging for NaVi in the last couple of weeks.
But again, this is my point. We hype up players for individual skill, but don't think of context of overall roster. And that's why I asked you the question earlier. Why is it that Team Simple joins seem to become self-centered around him?
Well,
it's almost like Nico in mouse sports.
Yeah, that's
more of a stretch.
It's a difference, yeah. That's a stretch because you consider that the
they were never there before.
Pedigree we have within NaVi and the established players and the titles they've won, they should be performing much better than they are right now. Simple coming in, that should be a boost. He shouldn't be anything to blame. He's just one player coming in. They were hardly in good form when he joined. It just hasn't got any better since he was added to the roster. We thought this was it now. This is a chance for NaVi to really show us what they're made of. But unfortunately, They've had, what, one really decent event, ESL New York last year, 2016, which they won, of course. Their first kind of, Guardian's first 250k tournament victory, and a lot of those guys kind of thought that would be the milestone for them to really get rolling with this roster now. But ever since then, it's been very disappointing. And then they thought, okay, well, maybe it's because we lost Zeus. So Guardian goes out, Zeus comes back in, and you've lost a lot of firepower there. Guardian considered one of the world's best AWP players. You can see what he does in FaZe right now. And Zeus currently had him 4 kills, 13 deaths. Like, he's a very up and down player. Sure, he's the mastermind, but if he has games like this, very difficult to recover. And we saw this yesterday against Hellraisers as well. NaVi don't really have a lot of excitement around them, for me at least, at this point. It seems like they don't really have the structure or the tactical prowess. I haven't seen that much tonight. I just really thought, wow, you can see what Zeus has done with this team. It's really coming together. It looks arguably worse than ever, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, this is not exactly what you would have expected from a world-class team. Edward takes down RPK, but it's Envy again that take the lead, although that changes immediately. Zeus finds Hachi back, and suddenly as they walk in from both the drop room and from long B, they pinch off the players inside of B, and it's Sixer left to rotate around in a 1 versus 3 USB in hand. But there's also one picked up by Seized, and his is slightly more accurate, it seems. Fires the shot that makes it now 5 rounds for NaVi and a chance to close it back up ever so slightly.
There we go. A fast B approach from NaVi. Hitting the shots, the Glock train doing a lot of work there. 3 frags coming in from EnVyUs, but not enough to pick up the round. Haji, I thought he had a chance, but finds his 7th frag, but that's all he'll get. Forced by the CZ. So no MAC-10 nonsense from the NaVi side here. They'll be getting AKs out and a couple of UMPs. Pretty standard stuff. 1 smoke, some Molotovs, flashbangs as well. As he sees heading towards the drop-down area. Edward with the double frag. That's all he can pick up, though, as Hachi finally gets him. And now Hachi's got a chance to do some damage here. He gets 1, but finally taken down. Flicks damage towards Flamey, which RBK can follow up on as well. And now we have got a round on our hands. Hachi with the AK-47. This would be massive for EnVyUs to pick this round up. The bomb planted, though, percentage chance of winning does go down significantly at this point. Zeus is simple to defend.
Simple waits and drop. Both to enter from long. He can swing out from E-Box, therefore, and watch the stairwell, which RPK now occupies. Better shot from Zeus. He doesn't even need to swing. Simple. Zeus gets them both from KFC.
Well, there it is. Force buy from EnVyUs. Does get quite exciting there. Kills all over the place. Able to get the double spray towards middle, but finally taken down. It funnels him towards the B site, and EnVyUs did make it quite exciting, a 2-on-2 situation, but like I said, as soon as that bomb goes down, with no kits, no nades, and some salvage weaponry, it's very unlikely they manage to retake that bomb site. Scream having it over the Zeus this time. He picks it up. I said Cobblestone's one of the only maps to really see it on. Basically because of drop down. That's exactly where Scream is. So I'll see if we followed the rule this time, Matt.
Oh, that's way too far in the range. Yeah. It's not a fishing rod with hooks that you can just fly fish toward, like just whip it out to the middle of the sea.
Yeah, I think he was hoping like he'll jump into me, but this pulled the trigger a little bit too soon there. Flamey should be able to get his kill as well. Headshots aplenty. Final kill there for Zeus. He takes Unhappy as well. So there it is. A quick 3-0 to kick things off in the second half. We did say NaVi can bring it back in the second. 11-4 start. Very quiet stuff from NaVi side. Winning the pistol, getting the 2-0. They've now won both pistols as well, just to note. With 5 rounds in total converted. So
that's a good point. That's a significant amount of winning.
Yeah.
All I do is win, no matter what. Money on my mind, but an up in Happy's hands.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm really good at this online casting stuff.
Yeah, really excellent. Happy with the AWP. This is a problem the old EnVyUs squad had. It was a bit of a meme at one point that when Kenny S was in the team, that Happy would sometimes push him off the role and allow himself to be the main AWPer. Maybe this was more of a financial thing, that Happy could just afford a glass cannon and no armor. So maybe that's the play he's going for. I don't know, but we saw it on the previous map as well. He was AWPing, and Sixer is hardly like considered like an amazing AWPer in CSGO. Like, he's pretty decent, but maybe they're trying to mix things up and allow Happy to have a bit more room to work up. Sees a nice shot towards RPK in the drop-down room. 5-on-4. Shot and gets towards the connector as well. Finds Sixer in the back. A little bit disappointing there. The communication didn't come through. They had no idea connector was not covered.
Hadji tries to pop out, but it's Flamey that holds the doorway on the other side. Even though they look to the cubby, NaVi just waltzes in, and they stay unbeaten on their terrorist side. As it goes, they are good on the terrorist side, so we expect no less, and they make it now 11-8. Henry, I think a comeback is entirely possible.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win 16-11.
You think so?
Imagine that.
They're just going to sweep the side?
Yeah. I've just got a feeling that's going to happen.
Do we call that a Swiffer?
Because the thing is, right, that we saw this on CT side of train as well, right? Because it's very difficult to slot in a CT player when you're missing someone. Like, I guess it's like you haven't had time to work on it, and Cobblestone is an absolute nightmare towards drop down and like holding off against BXQs and stuff like that, especially you haven't got the synergy there. And after losing the pistol and not getting anything going early game, I really do think there's a possibility that the 16-11 could happen. We'll see, though. It's unlikely, but if it does, you heard it here first.
Good shot, Flamey. Better shot, RPK, considering he's got just a pistol.
Yeah, the P250's been a bit nuts recently. CZ as well. That chimes in. Sees drops. And now we might have a chance here for EnVyUs. It's the pistols, of course, which have been an interesting storyline throughout these last couple of maps. But there it is. Zeus with the AK-47 finally levels the playing field to a 3-on-3. RPK goes down, and we do have the MVP in the hands of Simple. Good as well. Oh my goodness, Sixer with the USP. This is actually falling apart. It will be a 2 versus 1. They know exactly where Sixer is. They know the Deagle now, so that should be the round complete. Zeus low HP. Bomb going towards A. I don't think we have time to deny it. The cross comes through. Sixer has rotated, but he'll go towards mid. Still a chance to segregate the players.
Sixer. It's going to try to get the headshot, and does. Versus Simple, who had an op. Has to hold off against Seized. Bomb's behind him, but he can't get there because Seized is contesting. He's got no armor, he's got no kit. He won't hold it. There's no need to with that range. Unfortunately, that does mean without the kit, the round now done, but it's all about trying to stay alive, maybe even getting AWP and getting away. Jumps around the corner, 1 strafe, 2 strafe, keep running, gets caught. Zeus knew exactly what he was up to.
A scary round there. Sixer did absolutely everything perfectly. The fact they rotated through as well, it seems like a weird decision that NaVi separating themselves like that, but well read by Sixer. Does take down Simple, who was facing a little bit audaciously at that point, trying to show off perhaps, and we'll see what happens in the next round. It will be round number 6. Double upset. Like I said, Happy seems to be more than willing to join his teammate Sixer. The double up here. Something we've seen a little bit less of recently, but always there towards mid. That should have been a shot. I think he just about saw the shoulder there. X-ray difficult to tell. Already misses that on it either way. There's still no round posted in the second half for Team EnVyUs after having an 11-4 start. That's starting to dwindle.
Dwindle indeed, you say, and speculate that they can make this a sweep, a Swiffer sweeper. Do you remember those?
No.
You didn't have those?
What is that?
Had like a ball joint pivot on the end of the head, so you could take a sweeper and it was flat, and it used basically like a paper towel system on the end of it. You could get everywhere, every nook and
yeah, I know
cranny.
what you mean. Yeah.
Swiffer, the quicker picker upper.
Yeah.
Swiffer, the quicker picker upper. Come on, man. Gotta remember the good jingles when you're a kid. Oh, okay. That's a good jingle as Happy gets through the smoke. Finding Zeus, your sweep theory might be broken.
Well, it looks like it might well be. Simple. Last line of defense there, really, with the bomb. That's going to be the sweep. Done. It won't be happening. 12-9. EnVyUs post their first round in the second half, as you can see on your scoreboard right now. Here's the replay as well of the nice shot. Just about through smoke there as well. Boom. Takes on Zeus.
Be it.
Well, money's actually getting pretty dire for the NaVi side after reinvesting fully into this round. Goes to show they have been struggling against those pistols. It's hardly been clean rounds they've been winning. Same story as on train as well. It was 8-0 at one point, but a lot of the rounds came down to like 1v1s, 2-on-2s, and they couldn't really have very clean rounds. And here we go again. Angie, ready and waiting. Can he deliver the goods?
Yes, he can. Not when he's blind, though. And that means he'll be spraying awkwardly. Just run through everyone. They almost did. It was quite a almost interesting exchange for all the wrong reasons. Good shot by Cbble over his teammate's shoulder. Flamey tried to contribute. They will find both RPK and Scream, who burns Edward from the grave. So problems, but not so much in the fact that the round is lost, because Sixer is found as Zeus goes for the flank, knows that he's going to be retreating to try and save the guns, and that's a reset. So we hit 12-10, no money on the CT side. I say no money, they're around the 3K mark, so they could force to pistols, maybe even if they really wanted to get desperate. SMGs. It's not like the money is huge for NaVi, considering how many rounds in a row they won, but they've certainly got enough to buy. If they were to force SMGs, they could have potentially broke them.
Potentially, but they still have the lead for now, and they want to make sure they keep everything strong, you know. They'll have orbs next round if they're that way inclined, and then will be NaVi bouncing back again, double digits, 4 AKs. And not really much up against them as well, as the first 3 frags come in for NaVi here. Haji gets 1 in return. That's might be all that CTs get here. Screaming happy with the CZ in hand. Body armor and head armor, to be fair for Scream as well, but not really going to help him out too much against these AKs. They are separated for now. Happy to almost drop down and Scream holding at the A site. Seeds has already got full control of the B bomb site itself, so that should be round completed. Scream, if he takes down Seeds there, there's no real reason for Seeds to be here, but just about gets that frag. And that should be the round indeed.
Headshot. Headshot. Not a headshot. Still a kill. Happy will get the AK-47. You're right, it won't change much. And the outcome of our score, which now goes 1 round between 2.
Touchdown. 2
teams, that is. And yeah, it is. Nice throw. Not bad. Eli Manning.
12-11.
Today I learned that he was drafted by the Colts. Didn't want to play. They got traded senior for a first-round draft pick in the first round of the next year.
How have you memorized that? I heard that.
Because I heard Yanko listening to it in our green room.
So did I, but I didn't know all the details of that.
It's a magic thing that I do with this brain of mine that really is useless in many ways. Remembers all the things that it doesn't need to.
Yeah, useless information. Perfectly memorized. But still, I enjoyed it. 4 players towards the A site. We've got that fallen angle once again. This time Sixer will be holding it. He is back on the orb. We were kind of questioning what Happy was up to. I guess it's more a financial thing that he could just get the glass cannon now, have no armor. And
someone's called me out. It was actually Bounty was the tune that I sang, but I injected Swiffer into it. So I basically put 2 products together.
You did?
It's not bad.
Yeah. These are products I don't think we had in the UK. Bounty, maybe. It's like a kitchen roll, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, paper towel, we call it. Paper towel is one of the most underrated things in the world. I use so much of it.
I bet you do.
I think it's fantastic.
Know what you get up to?
I use it to wash my hands.
You wash your hands with paper towel?
Yeah, when I'm eating dinner. You put some, I think it's fantastic stuff. I think it's brilliant.
Well, 5-3. Edward doing a very good job here with the AK-47. Takes down 2 opponents along A. That opens up the floodgate at B. Even more so, the Flamey takes down Haji as well. That lead has been completely erased. It's going to be all tied up after this round. Happy to try and save the M4, but a clean sweep once again for NaVi. Posting 1 round so far in the second half. They saved for this one. Didn't really get much done at all. And this would be a really disappointing way to drop out. This Happy will get this kill at least. After having a huge lead, you have to feel for EnVyUs that this might not be possible. I did call the clean sweep, Matt. It might not be clean, but it's as good as at this point. In terms of loss bonus, our 3rd stage next round, so $2,400. The 0 they have right now, and no weapon saved, of course, and Happy gets dropped there as well. It's going to be 12-12, and we have about $2,600 per player. So, full eco required. You could force into this one. Pretty much going to be game over. You have to eco into the next one. I'd say take the eco here, use the loss bonus into the next round, and you should be fine for a buy. We have a replay of the HE grenade. I like that. Not bad. So what's the buy? EnVyUs going for CZ PD50. Like I said, force into this one, you might as well say goodbye to the map. So they'll just take not even a partial buy ready. This time upgraded pistols, no armor, no nades. Go 4 towards B. 6 patrols a long area, but NaVi shouldn't really have too much trouble finding a round of a 10 hit. And the 11-4 lead gun is gone. It's completely disappeared. So the promising start finds its logical conclusion. NVS, we did say they'd struggle on the CT half, basically because Cobblestone is one of the most difficult CT sides in the entire game in terms of holding towards drop down, the execution potential as well, lots of rushes, T's dictating the pace, and it takes a lot of practice to get everything in place on this map, especially if Hadji, he's chucked in a position he's not comfortable with. They'll have to move, presumably, a couple of things around to make it work. Otherwise, you just chucked in a position where XMS plays, and they have to just try and do their best.
Edward that has to sit back as they try and contest the bottom of danger. Good peek from Sixer. Gets away with it as well. They're going to pursue the AWP. Who knows it and is trying to run. Simple's caught out. He didn't have anything for the fight. Zeus will at least get screened back, but they enter the B site as the A site was where the charge and challenge came in.
Round 3. CTs might as well go for this one. They've got money to buy next round regardless, but I think we have got C's backstabbing them. Should get both frags here. Easy does it. Final player is Sixer, not seized, and it will be him with the AWP, saving that weapon. Like I said, they're buying up next round regardless, but still always good to see the AWPs, especially in rounds you definitely can't win. He's got no armor to save, but a CZ in his back pocket as well, no nades. And it will be NaVi recovering after losing a couple of frags there towards middle. Nice push from EnVyUs to pick up a kill and the AWP as well, but good idea to save at the same time.
So, NaVi now leads.
Yeah, that's a little bit gutting, isn't it? 11-4 up, and then you give that away.
You kind of saw it coming. You just had to, Hank. You just hate to see it, but you knew it was going to happen.
You did on the CT side. Like, this felt like that's the exact same problem we saw on Train. These are really difficult maps to string together when you got to stand in. Takes a lot of execution, defense, and don't seem to have it right now. There's not really been that many set pieces from NaVi. Just picking them off one by one. Rotation is very difficult on this map as well. But back to the double AWP setup. Happy in Sixer. It's Happy with no armor. Smoke and a flashbang to work with. Another slow default from NaVi.
Lands at the door, and the Arch forces MBK back. RPK. MBK? RPK. Natural born killer. Real pimp killer. I like watching your grin when you realize how dumb the things I say are.
Going somewhere with this? No, definitely not.
No, never. Always wasting time. Flamey certainly not. Takes down Happy. He'll continue on. RPK is going to get back in a better position to try and watch them as they walk through the wall, but Flamey is there at the AK-47 screen. One better on the response. It's therefore a man to the good on the NV side, but time a factor. Not quite just yet. 38 seconds. It is now, though, as Zeus finds himself in a 1v3 by which he wants to play it slow because he has an AWP. Good effect on the first, but can't get around the corner. Actually just walked into the wall, rather, and it goes 13-13.
13-13, a decent result there from EnVyUs. Pull one back, but still that reset potential is very real indeed. Need to make this a clean round. The reinvestments come through. You can see 3 players, always down to nothing there. Fatmas comes out for RPK as well. This has to be a round victory for them, or the game might be done, because they'll have to force buy into the next round or take a full eco, and that will allow NaVi to get to map points after the 11-4 lead as well. That'd be so gutting for them as we go towards B. It's simple to push through the smoke with C's as well. Got a little bit of a gap there to work with. That comes over. Nice shot from C's. It's down 1, but that's all he'll get. RPK to return.
Actually gets a shot back in turn, but it's Flamey getting ready as he takes down screen quickly. Flamey immediately drops after RPK finding him, but exposing himself in doing so allows Zeus to get the trade. It's down to the one-on-one. Bomb is inside of the site and dropped, and Sixer has watched it with an AWP, but unfortunately the smoke and then the lightning strike, as Chad would say. Don't know why I associated him to that joke at all, but I did. Means the bomb is recovered and Zeus can now work the map. He's got lots of time, 50 seconds in fact, by which he can approach either side at any point in time.
Well, anything could happen here. Stixer poses his position up at the back of the B bomb side in the chicken coop. Zeus on the other side of the map. He goes towards long A. He's got time to work with, of course. 45 seconds remaining. And look like he'll get a bomb down here pretty cleanly. He has to be a little bit careful, knowing that the connector is a very real possibility. Goes towards Cbble. As long as he gets this part right, he should be absolutely fine. There's no danger there. Obviously, he doesn't know it. Has to just plant in the open. Feels secure at this point. There we go. That's where you can plant. Right in the corner. And now then. So that kind of plant suggests I've gone towards middle.
Have you?
I'm watching from long A, something like that. But he sits on the exact opposite. He sits beneath the balcony. So it's a bit of a bait and switch here. But the thing is, the CT won't have a chance to really see that plant until it's too late. Now he will. This will actually be very smart indeed. There we go.
Oh, that's awkward. But
1
Zeus,
HP.
yeah, somehow wins it with the 1 HP. It goes 14 rounds there for NaVi. That would have been break point either way, and it might have been enough for the game to be held, if you will.
Yeah, and
by
like I said, if EnVy don't win that round, cleanest of exchanges, but he wins the round regardless. And like I said, if they lose that round, that's pretty much it, because they have to fight against the map point here, and they will force by CZ to max 7 and MP9. And it looks like that sweep. Sure, it wasn't the clean sweep, but 11-4 to 16-13. I'd say that's definitely in the realms. Ooh, the nade, though, not perfect. Flamey saying sorry to his teammate. CT's love pushing into position. See if he's getting away with it every time. NaVi have given away 5 or 6 frags to CZ in that position so far. It's a very difficult gun to go up against in a 1v1 at close range, but surely just hold the rocks and wait to see what you're up against first. But there it is, at 5-4. EnVyUs have something to work with here to try and avoid map point.
Happy is clipping on the edge of the ledge, I think, trying to get boosted up, so not exactly done correctly, but this could be timed so well as a result of his mistake. If he turns around now, oh yeah. CZ75, go for the knife. Doesn't matter, he gets a kill, falls away, stays alive. That's going to divide attention, and he wants to run back through the drop and get away. On 13, at least he fakes that he does. No drop down noise made, but they're going to give up on him for now and head to the site. If somehow EnVy can pull this back, oh my goodness, RPK. This could be the game in itself, because, again, they almost broke them in the last round. They're going to steal it away this time. It's just down to Seized, and RPK and Sixer hold them off inside of the site.
RPK has always been so good at the CZ. He must be loving it. The way it is in the current game, it's very prevalent, and he had very quiet performance so far. It's only his 10th frag, but great shots there with the upgraded pistol, just tapping away. That's lovely. And it was down to Happy, making things very chaotic towards the other platform. He gets boosted and dropped down and gets them right back in this. They can still win the map. Overtime still a very real possibility, but both teams struggling financially. You can see AKs, 4 AKs on the CT side. That's quite rare to see. And an MP9. They've actually got more AKs than the Ts do on their buy. They've got 3. A UMP and a CZ.
For Zeus. The smoke down, he wants to try and get through it. Can't necessarily do so. We've got a game. We've got a barn burner. Scream. Oh, don't you? I thought he was going to get flashed in. Just the way he was staring at the smoke and walking closer. I couldn't see where his teammates were positioned to throw it. They're certainly in a position to throw, but I didn't see if they had it drawn. He'll re-smoke it, fall off. Reads the flash going high as well. Looks away as he gets a bit of damage fired at him. Better still to exchange from Sixer 1 at the top of the ramp. And now he might come so close yet so far. Sixer still in position to support Scream, who's lost his vision, but he gets it back in time to find Edward on his own. And it's down to just Flamey and Simple, and this time the guns will be gone. It will be map point for EnVy with not much to fire against them.
It's going to be just Simple. But you give him an inch, he'll take a mile every single time. He could actually still win this situation. He hits that shot. We might have something to work with there. And there it is. Map point for EnVy. It was looking so bleak, but they managed to convert 2 right at the end. One of which was just with pistols, a Max 7 and MP9. And NaVi, after this heroic comeback, might fall at the very final hurdle here, trying to find overtime. And it's a very similar story to what EnVy had. CZs, a Deagle, a couple of UMPs, no rifles. And they're just going to have to rush in and hope they can find a similar format to what RPK was presenting with his CZ. Some Flamey with those weapons, and Edward with the Desert Eagle. This will be heartbreaking for both teams. Could have been disastrous for EnVy, and after NaVi with huge comeback. And remember, they were 11-4 down. Look at all those rounds in a row. It could all fall apart here. Round number 30 of the map.
BK ready to roll. Should they walk in toward the drop? The UMPs, the only two guns that could deny them otherwise. Potentially, I say that because they can be quick with the pistols, and that's exactly what happens. It's problems ensuing as Scream has to decide which to shoot at, and he's too long in deciding. We might have overtime.
Somehow, with the pistols towards drop down, and now Sixer has to hit every single shot here. Back up from Happy, they recover it 3-on-2. RBK dropping nothing in that drop down area. We thought that was a chance that Haji might save the day here. Zeus with the CZ, he's not going to have to do it. It's the IKEA pistol, has to reassemble it once he runs out of bullets, and Happy and co have done it. EnVyUs win the game 16-14. We avoid overtime. I have to say, EnVyUs avoid overtime. They were 11-4 up. It felt like that was a bit of a throw on their behalf. But, like we said, the CT side with a new player in there, it's one of the most difficult CT sides to master. NaVi gave them the run for the money, but the last 3 rounds go in their favor, and they managed to get the victory, Matt.
Get the victory, and we get a win on the stream because we get to join 3 handsome gentlemen on the desk.
Always a charmer. Thank you, Matt. We'll be back with the casters as they venture into the next series. The hot match of the week coming up. For now, though, we do investigate a split series. Envy managed to make it work on Cbble, is what we're going to be putting under the microscope now, albeit perhaps more of a magnifying glass, not a microscope. Don't know how in-depth we're going to be going here. Yanko and Chad are joining me, YNK and Spun J. Gents, the salmon, the silky salmon on the desk. I want to start by talking about the fact that this was a full 30 rounds, and we have kind of written Envy out after seeing with the performance on Train, Chad.
Yeah, they're swimming upstream now. Salmon reference.
Yeah, no, I liked it.
Cool. So
that's really a fish person.
I don't really know what happened in the first half of NaVi. Like, I know what happened, but mentally, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I've gone, why? Henry was perplexed. He's gone, why are these guys force buying so much? Didn't really make a lot of sense. They just kept doing it. It is more fun because you get upgraded guns more in time. You don't actually have to try and eco and save for weaponry. Early on, it made sense. You know, okay, they want to try and get on top of the economy. That way they can break Envy and not allow them to get away with too much. But Happy was having a very, I guess, fun time getting in behind them, getting all those pistol frags. You know, that's Happy's bread and butter. That's where he likes to pad his stats. And he did a really good job at that. And then NaVi later on, they were able to finally, you know, look a bit more dangerous when we flipped over. But Henry touched on it towards the end there, that the CT side of Cobblestone is a map when you have a stand-in that, like Train, is very difficult to have good cohesion because you need those links to be there, especially with the drop zone and that kind of area. A lot of communication, a lot of protocols need to be down pat, and that's something they didn't have. But Haji,
yeah,
he's not terrible. He isn't. Because I watched him just at the Gfinity thing, right? I did some stuff there and actually saw EnVyUs play. And that team, when they play as a team, they're actually quite good.
Well, they were dominating the Gfinity.
Yeah. But they're playing against UK teams.
Okay, come on now. We've... No, actually, no, never mind. I said we had a UK player, got kicked out, didn't he? Because he doesn't speak Swedish.
Yeah. He's gone.
Bless up. Don't know why I did that. 18 frags for Haji, yeah, as you were talking about. The youngster from the Envy Academy, standing in for XMS, did certainly find his feet and find a map. I think Envy is certainly not going to be disappointed with that one after what was a disappointing 0-2 they conceded just yesterday. Yanko, what are your observations getting to see NaVi? You said you were expecting NaVi to win. Of course, that's step one, but also the way in which they were going to approach it.
I think the good sign for NaVi fans is the fact that they did have a strong T side, but I think that's the only thing you can look towards, right? Or you can look to. They lost so many rounds versus Pistols. I mean, even in the end, they lost the game by losing to Pistols, essentially, and just weak buys. And those decisions in the first half, those forced buys that you already mentioned, makes no sense. You were out of reset territory even for EnVyUs. And also, it's interesting to see Flamey opping.
There you go, yeah.
I understand that because it's a situation where, when Taco started opping initially, you're like, Taco is not an opper. And the reason is, Simple is playing A with Zeus. They obviously don't want to move him towards the B platform and give him the op when they want to play with an op. And out of the 3 players, which are Seized, Edward, and Flamey, it's down to Flamey to op. And I was thinking, why C's not opping? He used to be a secondary opper. Well, he's playing drop. So that's, again, something that SK did. They didn't want to move Coldzera out of drop towards platform for him to op. So they probably don't want to move Seized out of drop to platform. But it's not like he's a super dominant player in drop. So that's where you kind of lose the trail.
Yeah.
So I think I'm hoping we can just, sweep it up to NaVi still figuring things out.
Okay.
They could have got more rounds on their CT side, I think, if they actually took some saves and got the full guns up. There was like 7 or 8 rounds, with that deep in the game, and then they finally start taking proper ecos. That's too late. By that point, it could already be too far gone, especially on the CT side. You get reset that late in the half, it's all over, red or over.
Yeah, so NaVi had their money shot, and indeed EnVy get the money shot this time, as they're going to be picking it up 1-1 and splitting the series here in our first series of our day. Another one coming up, though, a hot match of the week. This one is one to look forward to, as Ninjas will be clashing with the Samurai. G2 and the Ninjas in Pajamas will be doing battle after this.